Hi, welcome back to AFTV and welcome back to AFTV News Daily. I'm not at my happiest right now, but I'm just getting the stream ready so I can chat to you guys. Keep the comments coming in. I want to chat to you guys a lot today. God, there's no energy in me, sorry. It's me by myself again. No Turkish, no Cecil, no Robbie. They're all very, very busy. But I'm quite glad because I need to just rant today. I'm not going to lie, it's not normally what I do. I'm normally trying to look at the other perspective. But I need to have a bit of a rant. I need to have a bit of a moan about Arsenal. I'm not going to lie. People probably tuned into my solo news show on Friday where we got the news that Saliba wasn't in the Olympic squad. We'd heard in the weeks before that he's going to be given pre-season to prove himself at Arsenal, that he's a plan of the long term. And obviously things have emerged since that suggest that that's different. It's not just a Saliba thing though. I've got bigger worries for Arsenal than what happens with William Saliba. But he is he the straw that broke the camel's back? No, I don't think it's that dramatic, but he's definitely one of many, many problems that I don't see being fixed at Arsenal right now. So we're going to go through him. We're going to chat about William Saliba. It seems like we do all the time. I think I was just hearing some people are saying that there's poor sound. If we can just get a check from the tech. No, everything's fine. Fantastic. But thank you for letting me know in the comments. We're going to chat about Saliba. We're going to talk about a member of staff who's just left Arsenal as well. We're going to talk hella transfers and Wenger's new plan for a World Cup. So let's just go into it all because there's a lot to talk about. You've seen the title of this show is, well, you've seen it. What the something is going on. I know we swear sometimes, but I'm just going to try and keep it calm. I've got a million questions right now. It kind of dawned on me over the weekend that we are a couple days away from pre-season, and this is the pre-season in the season in which we were having the biggest rebuild the club's ever seen. Players were going to leave. We heard from not even before that final game against Brighton, Xhaka's looking to move on. Bellerin's out. Willian's going. Who then? Nketiah's not going to sign. Arsenal will listen to bids for Lacazette. Listen, I'm not saying I wanted all these players to go. I'm just saying that's a lot of what we were hearing. Suddenly we want Onana for a couple million because he's available. Leno's not happy. He could be moving on. There was a lot going on very, very kind of quickly in this window. I'm just going to bring the mic a little bit closer to me. Hope you guys can hear me better now. There was a lot going on very early before the final ball had even been kicked in the season, and we thought, okay, fine, we're going to see a big summer. Arsenal seem to be getting ahead with it quickly, and then very quickly comes out before even the Euros have started. I think on the day that the Euros kicked off, Arsenal want Ben White. Lokonga's quite close, and then we're hearing in the last week or two that Nuno Tavares is on the brink, and that a lot of those things are still true. But I want to know why we're in a situation in which William Saliba is no longer at the club. Well, no, sorry, I say no longer at the club. He's on his way on another loan. So this will be his third loan since we paid £27 million to bring him to the club. We're going to talk about it in a bit more detail soon. Why there's been no signings, why there's been no outgoings. We have done no business. It's not even that you can say, oh, well, we've done a lot of the clear out and we're just waiting for, we're waiting for that to go ahead before we bring the other players in. We've not done anything. And why Arteta brought in all these men as his staff, the people he felt confident having around him. And we've now heard that Andreas Georgeson has left the club as well. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily a good or a bad thing, but how many years have we seen Sven Mislintat's the answer? He's gone. Raul Sanyehi, he's the guy. He's gone. Ivan Gazidis was going to lead this massive thing. He's gone. Unai Emery, he's the first team coach that is going to take us to the next level. He's gone. I mean, I don't know what's next, guys. I don't know. Let's go through it. I'm still getting complaints about the audio. I'm just going to check. I'm just going to check with my team. Team in the background. Is everything all right with the audio? They're saying it's absolutely fine. Okay, fantastic. All right, guys. I'm getting a lot of comments about audio. Let's bring this a little bit closer. William Saliba. Here's kind of my thoughts on William Saliba and what's going on. I don't mind him having another loan if the club are very upfront with us about what's going on with him, why he's going out on loan, the decisions are made quickly, and that you do it once Ben White's through the door. Because we've been hearing a lot of reports that Chelsea, Man United, Man City, Everton are all suddenly looking at Ben White. It's almost like they're all realising, hey, Arsenal are doing a deal we perhaps didn't think was possible before. Maybe they weren't ready to approach it before, whereas Arsenal made a quick start, and they've realised he's out there, he's on the market, he's available. And so we're in this weird situation where we're kind of willing to let William Saliba go, having just lost David Luiz, having just sold Mavropanos. But, Ben White's not really a done deal. There's conflicting reports. There's some people saying that a £50 million deal has been agreed. We heard that a good week ago, over a week ago, we heard a deal was agreed. We then heard that it wasn't agreed, but it was close. We've now heard from some sources that 50 million done, accepted, it's going to happen. And we've now also heard from another independent source, media source, not AFTV sources, that a third bid's going to be made. But there are other teams looking around. So it's a difficult one. Why are we doing this deal with Saliba why do we spend 27 million on a player that we don't think will be ready 3 years down the line? Now, I want to offer some balance in this situation, because here I am. I'm still getting a lot of I'm getting a lot of comments about audio. Some people saying the audio is good. Oh, sorry. Someone says the audio has no bass. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it's lacking bass. I'm going to leave that for a sec. I want to offer some perspective on the Saliba thing. I used the example of Thibaut Courtois on Twitter. I was saying that, you know what, Thibaut Courtois had 3 loan spells when Chelsea signed him. They basically sent him on loan to Atletico Madrid, and he benefited from the minutes. He went away, he got the minutes, and he became a better player for it, and he came back to Chelsea absolutely ready to make a difference. People were saying, yeah, that's fine because they had Petr Cech. I mean, yeah, you can do that. You could also say we had the 3rd best defence in the league. Courtois would have been an upgrade on Cech, who wasn't at his best at the time. I don't think that the loan spell is necessarily the worst thing for Saliba, but it's the fact that Arsenal Football Club don't seem to have a clue what they want to do. And every time that I try and take a breath, take a step back and say, listen, let's just wait and see what happens. Let's just take it easy and see how things develop. Something else comes out that suggests to me that they don't have a clue what's going on. I'm sorry, I'm being really harsh. I'm being a little bit ranty here, but I've just got to kind of say it how it is. This Saliba thing, where we were hearing a few weeks ago that he's going to be given the chance, that he's part of the plans for the season, now that's completely changed and he's on his way to Marseille. That suggests to me the club doesn't know what they're doing. I'm not going to talk much more about the Saliba thing because a lot of people have, and I've sort of gone on about it a little bit. But that is definitely kind of a very good example of where the club, in a matter of weeks, seem to have changed their stance on a player who they spent £27 million on. So that's slightly worrying. Why would you bring in a manager in Arteta who doesn't rate the guy? Yeah, maybe he rated him at first and over time realised he didn't. I don't know. But it doesn't sit well with me. Let's move on from the Saliba thing, because I think there can be lots of different ways to look at it. Why have there been no signings? Why have we been on the brink of 3 players for 2 weeks, really? Tavares a little bit less, and that seems to be the most advanced. I mean, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing that Nuno Tavares, we didn't know anything about it a week and a bit ago, and now he's on the brink. He's going to be our first signing, it looks like. Lokonga, we've been fighting over a couple million here, there. Yeah, of course that matters. But it just always seems to take longer for Arsenal to do a deal. It always seems, even this summer, I know Jadon Sancho stuff happened across a lot of last season, but even this season, this summer, Man United have got it wrapped up quite quickly. They're now looking at Varane. I mean, Arsenal got some business to do. Who we talked about? Tavares, Lokonga and White. Sorry, this is me having a bit of a moan. It's not so much a factual news show as it is just me having a bit of a rant with you guys. I know there's some comments about the audio coming in, but if you just want to chat to me, sending me your comments about sort of what you're feeling about these deals and stuff, let me know. But I'm getting very frustrated. We've not seen a player come through the door, and we are very, very close to the start of pre-season. Arteta wants these players to work with. The reason that I said no European football is potentially a good thing for Arsenal for 1 year and no more is because Arteta can get that time on the field with the players. He can get that time to coach and train. They can work on things. You're not quickly training, flying, resting. Next game's coming up soon. He's got that time, but this pre-season time is precious. You don't want to lose out on it, especially because a lot of the players are at the Euros, at the Olympics, having an extended period off. I don't know. There's all sorts of reasons. And a lot of the players are potentially off. No signings, no one's gone out the door. Jack has been on the brink of going to Roma for a long time. I said last week that his performances against France were a good thing because you're going to create a bidding war. That's fine. But at some point you need to get the deal done and you need to be moving on. And Turkish said it perfectly the other day. He said, dealing with other clubs, listening to other offers, a bidding war is a good thing, provided you eventually get the deal done. If they all price each other out, there's no point. There's no point. Roma might not be willing to come up to a certain point, or let's say Juve might not be willing to, but he's got another club that he favours, and a deal just doesn't get done. He ends up cosy at Arsenal again. We've got to make sure we get these deals done. And here we are on the brink of going into a new season. Nothing's been done yet. No clear out, no players in. We're going in with the exact same group. If anything, it's slightly depleted because of the international fixtures they've got. My last bit of moaning before I get into, because I've been going for 12 minutes now, before I go into the live chat, and sorry guys, I've been a bit thrown off by this audio stuff, but I think everything's back on track. Andreas Georgsson joined the club last summer. He was one of Arteta's sort of picks. He wanted him as the set-piece coach. I think he's helped us defensively as well. He came from Brentford. I thought he did a decent job. I thought we looked better from set pieces last season. Yeah, we conceded a few, but every team does. I thought we looked better in that department. It was an area we've looked weaker. We've looked quite weak in the past. We conceded, I think, the third lowest amount of goals last season. And I think a big part of that was tightening up at set pieces. At the start of the season, we looked a bit better attacking set pieces, or we definitely seemed to score a few more, although that routine where everyone's around the goalkeeper didn't make any sense to me. And he's left. He's being replaced by Nicholas, I want to say Jova, but it might be Jova, Jova, I think, who comes from Man City. So Mikel Arteta's worked with him before. I don't know a lot about Nicholas Jova, and we'll do some research so we can make sure we sort of evaluate him fairly. But this news sort of came out today, and it's another person who's meant to come in and be part of the rebuild, a new part of the furniture that was going to be there to kind of oversee the incoming of players, part of that core squad, that core staff, that core team that were going to help revitalise Arsenal and go again. And he's off. Andreas Georgsson, he's gone back to, where did he go back to? Malmo, I think. Malmo or Mulder? I think it was Malmo, and I think it's in a better role, I think. So look, I wish him all the best, and I thank him for his services at Arsenal, but I just can't help but be frustrated. This is another person who has come into the club. Within a year, they're gone. Within 2 years, the person who's meant to come in, make a difference in some way, shape, or form has left the club. And part of the reason why I wanted to stick by Arteta, although after Villarreal I did change my mind, but part of the reason I wanted to sort of push through with Arteta was I didn't want to just keep chopping and changing. I wanted to let things play out a little bit more. But here's another guy who's on his way out. I'm here with my sort of arms crossed in a bit of a mood, guys. Let's take some comments. I've had my moan. I'm just a little bit frustrated with everything. Some people are saying that the audio is still bad. I apologise. I don't know if it's bad to the point where you can't actually hear it or what. Let's have a look at some super chats. Usopp for the super chat says, we can't hear you, audio's horrible. Okay, I apologise for that, guys. I think we're working on it in the background. Oz, thanks to the super chat, says, still no signings. I've said it before. Arteta is out by Boxing Day. Him and Edu are absolutely clueless. I don't know where we go from here because this club is rotten to the core. We're all Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day. Yeah, I remember that film. I will reserve judgment till the end of the summer about whether Arteta and Edu are clueless on the transfer side of things, because they did bring us Gabriel for a very good price. I thought it was annoying we didn't get Partey in sooner, but obviously they always kind of knew that was a potential deal that they could do, and they got it done. So fair play. They clearly sold a project to him. To get a Thomas Partey to join Arsenal was superb. I enjoyed the Matt Ryan loan. I thought that was some smart short-term business. Martin Odegaard too. I think getting rid of players the way they did in January was good. I think they've done some good stuff, but the start of this window, while I'm very happy with the profile of player we're targeting, I'm left very flat, thinking about... I'm left very flat thinking about the fact that we're on the brink of pre-season and we're still a long way from the squad looking like what we want it to look like. If you ask me, Robbie, Turkish and Cecil, how many players do you think we will need? I think we need a minimum 5. 5 players who can play in the first team. I include Lokonga when I say can play in the first team. So I'd say 5. Robbie would say maybe 5. Cecil maybe 6. Turkish says 7 or 8, being really blunt. That's what he thinks, and and I agree with that. I think I 5's a minimum for me, but I think if in an ideal world, if you're doing that big clear out, you get about 8 players in. And we've done none, and that is so disappointing. Bless. MLC TV says, hey, yo. I think he's telling the people who are complaining about the audio, he's saying to basically be quiet because it's all fine. Thank you, I appreciate that. Michael says, James, being real, I can see Xhaka starting next to El Neni next season because we'll get Lokonga on deadline day. Yep. Wouldn't surprise me. Mark Sweet says, he's just saying brilliant analysis. Thank you. He says he wishes it were otherwise, but Arsenal are clueless. I agree. Jasmine saying trolls in the chat. Appreciate that. Samantha says wish people could be patient. Yeah, I understand that. I understand we do need to be patient, but you be patient, but you've got to be fed something to suggest that the club's moving forward. And at the moment, I don't see anything this summer that suggests we are really tackling the areas we need to. I see us doing a lot of the trimmings, a lot of the side work, which is good, even if it is 50 million for Ben White. But yeah, I am a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried about the lack of real core business has been done so far. Lewis says, yes, James, so stop moaning before we know it's the wrong decision or not. Lewis, the Arsenal can still have a very good transfer window. We can still, come the start of the new season or come deadline day, have done a lot of very good business, and I could be very happy. But no matter what happens now, unless it quite literally breaks today or tomorrow, Arsenal are so far failing this transfer window. I'm sorry, but they are so far. That could change. That could 100% change. But so far, they're failing this transfer window because we are on the brink of pre-season with no one in the door and no one out the door. And that's just not good enough. Hey, I'm just asking my team. When did the season end? What, like I'm just trying to think. We're trying to think now. Was it a month ago? A bit more than a month ago?
What?
When did the season end? A month ago?
Yeah.
Nothing's been done.
More
than nothing's been done.
More than nothing, more than a month.
Yeah, more than a month. Gabrielle says, what do you think about United summer projects at the moment? We've got Sancho, Lixter, Varane, apparently Pogba's replacement, who I think is Camavinga. Yeah. Listen, I'm very jealous of the business you guys are doing. 1980 Rule says, the perceived lack of urgency and communication this window is absolutely shocking given the horror season we just had. He says, where's Josh? I agree, where's Josh Kroenke? Guys, this has been not your kind of usual news show because I've been quite ranty and moany. I've been quite just getting off my chest. I felt like I needed to. Clint says, James, we need to get relegated for Kroenke to sell. But I hope not. I'm not optimistic about this season. Bad business, bad management. Arteta out, Edu out, Vinay out. Yeah, fair enough. I don't agree with all the outs yet, but I understand why you're disappointed. Micah says, James, what do you think about the fact that Arsenal had one of the best defences in the league last season? Do you think that this is overlooked when people are analysing the team? 28 goals conceded. I'm not sure it's as low as 28. Was it that low? Let me know. That feels very low. Yeah. I mean, listen, that's good. The defence has improved, but we didn't improve the other end. We still finished 8th. Something, I suppose. Lewis says 3 players have been done, James. No, they haven't, though. That's the thing, Lewis. They're not done. They're close, but they're not done. And do I think that they're going to be holding an Arsenal shirt on the website by the end of this week? I don't. So that's That's not good enough ultimately. Miran says, after a month of no signings, if we were to only get 3, which 3 players would you go for? Positions excluding Lokonga and Tavares. I'd go for a number 10. I'd go for another sort of box-to-box type midfielder, and I'd go for a right back. Locatelli, for example, not as the right back, as a midfielder. Mohammed says, I think the criticism is a bit premature at the moment. To be fair, for once, we're actually proactive. None of the other teams have signed anyone. Patience. True, Mohammed. Yes, there's that perspective, and I'm so willing to be wrong on this. I'm so willing to, in a few days' time, turn around and say, actually, fair play. We've got a few players in. White's on the brink. Let's move on to our other targets. 3 in the door by pre-season. Brilliant. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And that's why I'm kind of choosing today to have that bit of a rant. It feels once again like we're just taking our time. Amma says, we could all sign the first choices, but but it's up to Arteta and his staff to build a team and bring out the best of these players. I agree with all that. Tomo says, James, how are you feeling if Villa gets Smith Rowe across the line? I'll be devastated. Honestly, I do not want to lose him. Youssef, thanks again for the super chat. Everyone, by the way, thanks for all their super chats. £50 each instead of buying the new shirt. Massive fan base. Let's rescue our club instead of waiting for the Cronkies. I would not trust the Cronkies to spend that money. Habib says, to be fair, James, no other major clubs have made signings like City, Chelsea, United, although they have agreed fee for Sancho, but it's not done, nor Tottenham. Very true. That's a good point. Let's just rattle through some other news very quickly, because we are going to end in about 8 minutes or so. It's been a very ranty stream, but I've enjoyed taking your super chat, so thank you. Arsenal are apparently readying another bid for Locatelli. I'm just going to say this. I think if Juventus get to the point where they definitely can't sign him, then maybe that's a possibility. The money seems possible. I don't think Sassuolo are asking for anything ridiculous, but otherwise he's off to Juve as far as I'm concerned. I think they'll find a way to get it done. In other news, we talked about Lokonga. Apparently he did not train with the Anderlecht team. Again, there's sort of rumours here and there that we've been reading and stuff, but that makes sense. I think we heard that was probably not going to happen anyway because he's on the brink of Arsenal. So a player on the brink going the other way is Guendouzi. So in fact, you know what? I said there's no outgoings. I'll take that back. Guendouzi and Saliba do look very close to Marseille. It's not happened yet though. It's not done. I will say that, Guendouzi's not been in the club for over a year. What have we... Okay, not over a year because obviously the season overlapped last year. But it's been a long time not at the club. And again, it feels like it's taken a while to agree to a deal that doesn't even sound that good. I think it's a loan fee and something like 10 million euros or 10 million quid, obligation to buy. I mean, it doesn't sound great, but... whatever, it's a small profit made on the player, I suppose. But Guendouzi is on the brink. There are photos of him in France on the brink of signing. He even put out a message, actually. Let me find this. I should read it out. If I just go on to... please get your chats in the meantime. Let's go to Guendouzi. Here we are. So he posted to basically say goodbye to Arsenal. Although I'm having a look here and I can't find the post. Oh, it's a very, very long post. Oh, I can't even find it on Instagram. Do you know what, guys? I've just wasted all your time for a minute or two. Ignore that. But he did post on social media, apparently. He tweeted, and I think it is somewhere on Instagram. So he said his goodbyes, and he is on the brink now. Another player who could be out is Alex Lacazette. There's so much news today. Reports that Arsenal would sell Alex Lacazette for the right price. What is that right price? I don't know, 20 million, 25 million? I feel like they take 15. I mean, his contract ends next year. But there are also reports that Arsenal are willing to offer him another 1-year extension just to maintain his value a little bit. We'll see what happens there. On that White stuff, as I mentioned, there is conflicting reports. Some people say a deal's been agreed. Some say that we're on to a third bid. Seeing if that will get agreed, who knows? Let's see what happens. And a very interesting development today was that Eddie Nketiah, we kind of knew that he was probably going to leave the club anyway, but it's pretty much being confirmed by all outlets that he's not going to sign a new deal. He can go for free next summer, but he's going to try and move this year. Listen, I wish Eddie all the luck. I really hope he goes and gets first team football wherever he goes. I hope he can just rediscover his potential. He's always been a fox in the box. He's more than that, by the way. Everyone always says he's a bit of a poacher and everything. I think he's more than that. I think his hold-up play is decent. I think he's got a bit of pace about him. He's got a bit of skill. But his attribute has always been finding that space in the box where the ball's going to drop and putting it away. And I think he could have a very successful career where he goes. So I wish him all the best, and I thank him for everything at Arsenal. It's not worked here. I'll be honest. He's looked uncomfortable this season in an Arsenal shirt, but I wish him all the best. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Bayer Leverkusen, apparently one of the teams who are looking at him. Let's just see how that develops. Everyone's kind of covering that quite publicly, so we'll see. Arsene Wenger apparently wants a 2-year World Cup. Sorry, not a World Cup the last 2 years. A World Cup every 2 years. Very important to get that in. He wants a World Cup that's going to be every 2 years. I think that's an interesting one because there'd been talks about this before. I'd heard on the radio people suggesting that'd be a good... I understand why you might want a World Cup every 2 years, because basically the argument is that players get to play in more of them. And if you're a player who has a long-term injury, who could we take from this year? James Justin. James Justin, who's having a great season, might well have been in the squad for England. The way Southgate's been using Kieran Trippier as a right-footed left-back suggests James Justin might well have got game time for Southgate in England. But I think what's interesting about it is, James Justin can have the injury he's had and then still play a World Cup, 2 years later. It doesn't feel... Whereas if you play one in 2010, but you're injured for 2014... That's 8 years till the next one that you're potentially available for, which is 2018. That's a long time. And injuries happen in football. There is every chance that you can be out for a couple of weeks, months, or just have that one really unfortunate injury and miss a World Cup. So I understand why they would. I understand why they would want to bring the World Cup forward. I mean, basically make it more frequent, but it's not for me, I have to say. I would rather keep it to every 4 years. I think that's what makes it special. Same as the Olympics. I'd keep it to every 4. And we've got other competitions where, Wimbledon's every year, the Ryder Cup's every 2 years. They're still incredibly special. But there's something about the World Cup where it gets everyone going that I'd rather keep it to 2 years. Runnison. Alex Runar Runnison, or Runar Alex Runnison, if you forgive me, is apparently on the brink of joining Altayspor in Turkey, Turkish side. We'll keep an eye on that. This kind of broke very recently in the last sort of hour or so. We'll see what happens there. You've got to say if he's going, there's no doubt Arsenal bringing a goalkeeper in. So is it Ramsdale? Is it Onana? Is it, I've heard Freeman, I think, or Freddie Woodman, sorry, that's his name, Freddie Woodman from Newcastle. Can't say I'm an expert on him, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, we wish Runnison all the best. It's been a pretty dire time. The poor guy's not had the minutes. Got replaced in January at the earliest opportunity of doing so. Thought he did well against Wolves when he came on in that cameo, but otherwise he struggled. I wish him all the best. He seems a really good character. I like his confidence, but it's not really happened, so we'll see what happens with him. And just lastly, I just want to say big love for Bukayo Saka, who's out at England doing his thing. The kind of, would you call it a meme, or the image of him on a unicorn that's been cropped everywhere has been so great to see. He's having such a great time. That's the one thing I'll say, talking Euros for a sec, I've been more an Italy fan than an England fan this summer. Anyone in the comments who's still talking about whether I'm half Italian or what? Yes, I'm half Italian. I'm half Italian, half English, 50-50 both. I've lived in England all my life. But I really love this Italy team. They went into the tournament as underdogs. It's only now the performances they've had that everyone is starting to sort of think that they could win the thing. So I've been very on the Italy kind of hype. But I will say that I've really enjoyed Bukayo Saka for England. I don't think Sancho pulled up trees the other day. I thought he had some really nice flashes, but I don't think he did anything to suggest Saka shouldn't start the next game. And I've just enjoyed him. I've enjoyed Saka's time with England. I've enjoyed him. The videos have come out. Everything seems to be having a great time. So, look, big love to Bukayo Saka, and I'm really happy for him. And I hope it all continues. And look, for him and for England, obviously I hope he wins it, and that would be pretty special, wouldn't it? Let's just end on some comments. Piyush says, "Hi James, what do you think about Hudson Edouard coming to Arsenal?" I haven't seen him too much, but potentially one day that wouldn't be a bad deal if Lacazette were to move on, but I need to see him a little bit more. George says, if Arsenal sell Saka, I'll be pissed off. Yeah, I agree with that. Michael says, to try sign Ben White and Tavares as an example, Arteta knows what Arsenal needs. Interesting. So, okay, maybe you seem to think the defence is where we need to strengthen. Yeah, fair enough. Someone says, you're definitely not an expert on him, can't get his name right. Yep, absolutely spot on. Well, it's a question about, Y Coaster says Danny Ings. Yeah, I like Danny Ings a lot. Good player. Would be interested to see if he gets a move this summer and kind of who's looking to pick him up. 28, good age, can go for free next summer, so you've got to feel someone's looking at him. Let's take one more. Someone says Sancho equals Obertan. I'm not sure he does. Stephen says Italy make good pizzas. That's very, very true. GMS says, James, is your mother or father Italian? My mum's Italian and my dad's English. YouTuber Wanderer says, Camavinga wants to play Champions League, not Carabao Cup. I think that's right. And let's just do one more question. Ash Goddard. Actually, this is a good one. What about Willock? I'm going to end it there. What about Willock? What's going on with him? I don't know. We've not heard anything. Sounds like maybe he's part of the plans. Maybe Arteta sent him on loan. He did what he had to do. Arteta's convinced. Maybe he's part of the plans. Maybe that's what's going to happen. I don't know. But guys, just want to say again, apologies for firstly any audio problems. I don't know if it's just trolls in the comments or whatever, but apologies. We are getting confirmation it was just trolls. So thanks. You really threw me off for a good couple of minutes there. And again, apologies about the rants, but I just got to keep saying it. What's going on at Arsenal? Staff and board, not board members, but backroom staff and people coming in who are meant to have an impact, who are meant to make a difference. They're gone within a year or two. Saliba, 27 million, 2 loans, going to give him a chance, not giving him a chance, off to Marseille. To play with Guendouzi, by the way, I'm not sure if Guendouzi had the nicest things to say in their time there, but I'm joking, I'm sure he's an ultra professional. No signings, no one out the door yet. Arsenal have a lot of work to do. I've been very, very ranty today. I'm frustrated. I think Arsenal need to get a move on now. This season will creep up on us. Like, mark my words, before you know it, we're kicking off that Friday night against Brentford. What is it now? It's the 5th of July. So it's just over a month till the new season. Will Arsenal have everything we need by the start of the new season? No. But that's okay. You don't have to have everything. But will we have 80% of it done? 75%? Not for me. I think we'll still have a lot of work to do come the start of the new season, and that's what worries me. Arsenal are not learning. They're not learning from their mistakes. They're definitely losing. We finished 8th. Bloody hell. Guys, sorry I couldn't bring more energy to this. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'll be bouncing off someone else. That sounded weird. For some chat, from the discussion. I need other perspectives. It can't just be me ranting, but I've had a lot of fun. Thank you for joining. Remember to check out the Don Robbie channel for all the Euro semi-finals and the final this Sunday. Check AFTV. We've got all sorts of content coming out. You want to learn about Lokonga? I've done a AFTV Transfer Daily Extra where you can learn all about him. I'm exhausted. We're out. Thank you very much.